Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. It is episode 265. I had to look because I had Ravelry up and the show notes. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It is Tuesday, September 1st. We're late this week just because we've both been super busy. We had the option to record last night, but after editing and everything, it would have been midnight, so we just said screw it.
There you go.
This is a knitting podcast, but we do tend to ramble. This one will be no exception, I've no doubt, since neither of us has a whole ton of active things to discuss.
That's true.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Totally up to you.
Okay, well, I'm in the middle of a row, so why don't you go
Should we
first?
rock, paper, scissors it on it?
Yes, let's do that. Ready?
One, two, three. What are you doing? You are a cheater.
No, I wasn't. I did it.
Okay.
Your video's just dragging. Anyway, so you win, so you go first.
Awesome. I have nothing. Oh wait, I do have something. I have white birch socks. Look, there's more than one row of ribbing.
There is more than one row of ribbing.
10 rows of ribbing. So these are socks from my friend Amy of Ross Farm. She won one of the door prizes at SSK this year was I will hand knit you a pair of socks. It was one of our special door prizes. So she won, so I'm knitting her a pair of Afterthought heel socks. These are out of White Birch Fiber Arts in the Purple Rain colorway. They are being knit on Nova Platinas by Knitter's Pride on size zeros. So that's ridiculous. Last time, the fact that I have to go down to zeros is ridiculous. So I'm sure, like, in 2 years I'll be down to double zeros and be lamenting the fact, if only I could knit on zeros again.
You and Amy Beth, man.
Man, Amy Beth and I are kindred spirits. The ball and the one sock is hanging out in my Bling Your String sock bag, which I love because it's got this little cool stitch marker thing. I noticed this the other day on her poles. Look, she puts a little piece of the fabric.
Yeah.
So I like that little touch. Yeah. So I thought that was really cute. I did weigh the ball. So this morning, because I was getting a little nervous, because I have this much left.
And you have a whole nother sock to go.
I have a whole nother sock and a heel to go. So this was at 65 grams this morning. So I'm going to finish. This is not as long as I like my ribbing to be. It's right around an inch. But I'm going to finish with the blue, which is, I don't know, maybe like 3 more times around. And then I am going to do the heel. And that should get me at like 50 grams. Probably. Hopefully. And then I'm going to knit another one. So I'm thinking I can maybe get the whole heel done out of that colored section. The problem might be if I start wasting yarn. Like if I make them matchy and I waste yarn trying to get them to matchy, that might be a problem. But if I save that yarn, I can always use it in an emergency situation. But yeah, that could be a problem. Anyway, so that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is I started swatching last night because I'd finished my Camp Loopy project early and blocked it. And so I finished it on Sunday, so one day early, and blocked it. And so I didn't want to start on something big because House Cup resumes action today. So I was like, I'll start swatching for the Grace pullover, which I want to use as my owl project this term. So I started swatching, and I'm not happy. So I'm supposed to be getting 24 stitches equals 4 inches, I believe. Hold on, let me download the pattern real quick. Oh, I think I went off of it. Let me go back. So, I should not have been reading things on the internet.
How many stitches are on your needle now? Because that's a lot more than 4 inches.
Yes. So, okay, 24 stitches and 32 rows is supposed to be 4 inches in stockinette stitch. I decided to double that, so it would be an 8-inch swatch plus add 4 stitches, so that's 52. So there's 52 stitches on my needles. That's not 8 inches. That's way bigger than 8 inches. Like, even, like, not even pulling on it, kind of scooching it together, It's like 9.5 inches.
So did you start with the needle size it called for?
Yes. So I
So you're
started
gonna have to go down.
a lot. So I started with 4s, and I'm gonna go down to 2.5s, and hopefully get gauged on 2.5s. But the problem is I don't have Signature doesn't make two and a
Right.
halves. And I don't know that I have like anything but 16-inch 2.5s
I have
because I've
some
never.
of those Diacraft ones, the heavy metals.
Yeah, I don't have any interchangeable sets that go down that low.
Hmm.
Mine all stop at 3s.
Right.
So maybe while you're talking, I'll look in my needle bin because it's right next to me. Because I don't knit socks on 2.5s because it's too loose for me.
Right.
I don't have any, I don't think, 2.5s. And if there was like a local yarn shop near me, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. Like I can swatch on 16-inch needles,
Right.
like Addie's, and then I can order. I'm going to take this off while I talk to you because this is obviously too big and not going to work. I could order some carbons maybe or something like that, but I want to swatch on the needles that I'm going to use. I might have 2.5 carbons because when we took that crazy class with Kat Vorty and we needed like 5 different sizes, I might have some there. I'll look and see what I have while you talk. But that's my big dilemma is I might not have needles for 2.5s. It's not a huge dilemma. I think the owl proposals don't have to be in until like the 15th. So that's plenty of time if I order from like the Loopy U or
Right.
Wets or Jimmy Beans or Eat Sleep Knit for it to get to me. Because lots of people carry that as a sock size.
So what is the yarn that you were swatching out of?
Oh, so this is Plucky. It is the Barn Door colorway. So Plucky Knitter. The Barn Door colorway. Of their feet base, their feet is their merino nylon blend. So it is, what's that say, 90% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 425 yards. Grace, which is the Jane Richmond cardigan that I would like to knit out of this on size 2 needles. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's a little crazy. It's one thing to knit a fingering weight sweater, but to have to go down. Whew.
So it is, and it uses like negative ease too. So it's a negative ease lace sweater.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's really pretty though. It's from her Island book, which I didn't buy the book. I bought the 2 patterns that I really, really liked out of the book, which probably equaled to about buying the book, but whatever. It is like lace here.
And in the back. Yeah.
And it's a cardigan that requires 10 buttons. I want to do it for Muggle Studies, which the owl for Muggle Studies is knit something that could pass you as a Muggle. So a sweater that goes down to the wrist. My size calls for, it's one of those weird ones that doesn't actually have like specific, like, not weird and like crazy weird, but it's doesn't give you like specific, hey, for this size you need this much yarn.
It just says between
4 skeins.
Oh, okay.
So 4 skeins of Sweet Georgia BFL sock, which is going to be pretty comparable with twists and stuff, which is a fingering weight 4-ply BFL nylon blend, I believe. Yeah, 80% wool, 20%. So very similar. That's a 400-yard skein. So I have lots of, that's why I was swatching so big, because I have 100 extra yards to play with. And probably because my size is the smallest size that requires 4 skeins, I might have really a skein and 100 yards to play with, if we're being honest. Because it's pretty long, too. It's not very short-waisted, so I don't think I'm going to have to add a lot of length to it. So it's mesh up here, a mesh lace. It's a cardigan. It's really, really cute. I've been wanting to knit it for a while. It's a top-down raglan style format. So
crap, sorry, it's the on-call phone.
So, and it goes up to size 50. Like, it's really well sized. It goes from a 30 to 50. I should look at the projects too before I get too into this in my size, but it seems like it would be good. And I just downloaded it because Leslie told me that Amy Herzog has a new craftsy class on modification.
It's only modifications to sweaters. That's all it is.
So I just bought that. So if I need to add bust darts, I could add bust darts because it is like 3 inches. Let me pull up the pattern. I think it's like 3 inches negative ease on it when you look at this schematic. It doesn't say anything about negative ease, like when you read the pattern and stuff. But then looking at the schematic, it is obviously negative ease. It's got a nice chart format too, which I appreciate in a sweater pattern. I don't know what else to say about it. You should go so I can look and see if I have any 2.5.
Okay. So I don't have a whole lot of active stuff going on. I have some things that one thing I know I'm going to cast on, and then another item that I would like to cast on, but I need to swatch for first. Mostly this week, I've been reading like crazy and knitting on the sugar maple because it's mostly stockinette, so it's really easy to knit and read at the same time. Do you need me, dear? I am.
Hey, Michael.
Okay, just put mine in the microwave and I'll grab it. Thank you. Okay, so I was killing time till I got to the end of the row, and now I'm at the end of the row. So I am working on some socks for...
You have size 2 inches. Yes.
Look at that. You are so good.
You know, everything else is like 16 or 12.
You know,
hey, do you remember these needles?
Oh gosh, yes, I have both sizes of those. Even the ones where the needle kept coming off the cable, I still have those. I don't know why.
Hilarious.
But I remember when I was a few years back even, we were somewhere shopping. We were trying out a new store. I don't remember. It was on one of our travels. And you picked up a set of needles, a pair of Addies or something in sock sizes, and I asked you, don't you already have that size? And you're like, yeah. And I'm thinking, why would you buy another? And now, of course, I'm older and wiser, and I'm like, yeah, I need like 4 of each size, of course. Why wouldn't you?
This is the only size bigger than a 16-inch of size 2s that I have, that I own. I might have to remedy that. Like, that seems like...
That's always a good thing you can pick up at a shop where you can't find anything else you really like.
Yeah, I might have to get something.
So, back to me.
As it should be.
I'm knitting the mockery socks, which I've knit before. I knit before out of some Woolmiza in a purple, I don't remember, I think it was Arlene sock.
I think it was Arlene. I love Arlene. I might have some Arlene right over there.
This is a free pattern. It's by Katie Grady, and it's called Mockery Socks. It gives a really subtle patterning that looks like cables, even though it's
like mock cables, right?
Yes, and there's no cabling. It's just decreases and yarn overs is all it is. But it's a really nice, fancy-looking pattern. Oh, you can kind of see it.
Oh, so it's for your quilting lady.
It's for, yes, Miss Marker Quilts. She's the one who I trade. This is Apothecary Yarns. Let's see, yes. Apothecary Yarns in their Off the Deep End colorway. It is an MCN blend. So it's got cashmere in it, and it is so nice to use.
I know.
I hate that I'm giving them away because they're so... Well, I'm not giving them away. I'm bartering.
I don't know that they're still in business, actually.
They are. I asked.
They are?
Yes.
Okay.
It's K. Sarah on Ravelry, and I can't remember the other lady's name. K. Sarah, but I read it as K. Sarah. Anyway, so I'm knitting these out of Apothecary Yarns on the highest sharps, I think. These are 2.25 millimeters US size ones. I've probably got another repeat before I start the heel. They're really easy to knit if I'm watching TV or something, because I kind of have to sort of pay attention to what I'm doing, but only sort of halfway. But I can't read and knit them at the same time because I have to be able to count, and counting and reading at the same time, different things doesn't work. I tried. It's a bad idea. The other thing that I've spent the whole week on and just finished earlier today, including binding off, it hasn't been washed yet, so I don't consider it done, is the sugar maple. Let me switch.
Yay, go you!
Yeah, I think it took me about 2 weeks of pretty exclusive knitting, but it is done.
How many yards did it come out being?
I ended up with maybe 10, maybe 8 grams left. So altogether it was, each pack is 630, I think, yards, or 650-ish. So somewhere between 12 and 1,400 yards.
That's amazing, dude.
Something like
You knit
that.
that in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So it's like the equivalent of
You knit Grace for me?
3 pairs of socks. No. And while I did try it on, and it looks great. It is curling at the bottom, which is driving me a little crazy, but once I block it, it'll be fine.
If it doesn't, you could add maybe some crochet of that last color. You said you had 8 grams left?
Yeah, I don't know. And I wish that I was trying at the end. So it uses at the end, you've got a real short ribbing, which matches the cast on and it matches the sleeve. So it's,
yeah, but it's going to roll.
Yeah. So I wanted to use up every single bit that I could. And so I was being Laura and I was weighing it after every round so that I could sort of get an idea of how much it used per round. But I don't know, maybe my scale was off or maybe it was just too low of an amount in grams, because I would knit one round and it would act like I had used a gram. And then I would knit another round and then it would act like I'd used 3 grams. And then I would knit another round and it would be like, oh, you gained a gram. So
I think your scale's a little bit jacked up.
Right. It might be time for a new one. I've had that one for...
You should get like one of those little, for like little finite things when you want like tenths of a gram. They sell jewelry scales that do...
Drug
they
scales.
sell them on, yeah, they sell them on Amazon, and they're real small and they fold up and can go in your purse.
That might not actually be a bad idea for the really sensitive,
yeah,
low
now I will
gram
tell
numbers.
you, they get off, like, they're only $10 like a piece, but they can get unbalanced very easily.
Well, this only goes up to a 46, and I'm between a 48 and a 50 chest, so I did a few extra increases, a few fewer decreases for the waist, according to my measurements based on the custom fit measurements that I have. Man, let me tell you, those measurements come in so handy, because you can go back and look at them at any time.
Yeah,
So,
and we should redo them, like,
every 6 months or so.
We should redo them.
Yeah. My sizes haven't really changed since then, since May, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'm really, really happy with it. I am going to soak it as soon as we're done. It would already be soaking if I didn't want to show it on the podcast. But I talked to Steve last night about maybe doing another one in the copper color and doing it with longer sleeves. I will say, I do not like the way that the sleeves are written on this pattern. The way that the sleeves are written is it's still raglan at the top. So you continue to increase and you end up with like 400 or some ridiculous number of stitches on the needle. And instead of like most raglans, you get to a certain point in the sleeve and then you put the stitches on hold and then you join under the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bind right off. And then she has you do the... when you come around the next row to close up the gap, she has you do a weird decrease. And for me, that didn't work at all. I had to go back and do surgery to try to close the hole, and I was just not happy with the way that it looked. So, and I'm still not. It still looks kind of crazy. So I'm going to have to go back in there and close that. But the next one that I do will have longer sleeves because... being a large person, I have large arms. And while that doesn't bother me, I do like elbow length items. So the next one I'll do longer and I'll put the stitches on hold and then just come back to them and knit them in the round there. But yeah, overall, it was a very simple pattern. Once you get going, it's very easy.
Oh.
The increases and decreases overall are fine. I'll do the sleeves different if I do them again, but other than that, I enjoyed it, and it's my first fingering weight pullover, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to wear it to Rhinebeck if it's not too warm, because it is wool, and I do get warm easy, so.
You're the only person I know that's worried about being too warm at Rhinebeck.
I'm telling you, dude, fat girls sweat. And we get hot, it's too, you gotta... make sure you're not going to be chafing in your jeans. Like you got all these things you have to take care of and think about. And everybody else is in their adorable, cabled sweaters and their, mittens and their hats. And I'm like, oh God, I need some ice cream or something. So,
You are so friggin' ridiculous.
Oh, I am going to the swatches that I did last week. Which one was it? I think it's this one. This is the Alexandrite color of hazelnuts, and I'm going in at Rolling Rock out of this, I think.
Oh, that's a good one. I have her new sweater queued.
Yes.
So, if the owl people decide that Grace is not enough work on size 2 needles, I'm going to add that sweater into, or add an accessory. Like, you have the option of creating, like, a muggle outfit, but then you have to have someone photograph you in all your muggle outfit stuff. Like, wearing it all at once, and I don't know that I could pull that off. I did sassy walk at work today, so I could pretty much pull it in front of the 7th graders. I can pretty much pull anything off.
Jessica would approve.
Yeah.
So that's it. I didn't finish anything, but you finished a huge thing.
You finished Sugar Maple.
Well, it's not. I don't consider it finished until it's been soaked because I want to show it again. Damn it! And I want to show it wearing it. So it's not finished until next week.
So if it's an accessory, it is finished if it hasn't been soaked, unless it's lace. Is that the?
It just depends on the week as to what my definition is. Do I want to show it again?
Stash Dash definition is, would you wear it outside the house?
I would wear that. I mean, I would have to snip the ends, but...
Yeah. Well, I don't think you necessarily have to snip the ends. It just depends.
Well, there's some that are hanging out underneath, so... People think I'm crazy enough.
Okay. So, back to me. I feel like this is my tent.
It's not a tent. It's a beautiful, soft...
Oh, it's so huge. So this is Line Break. It goes for days. It is out of Volmiza Twin in the Elsa colorway. I used around 170 grams.
It's twin? I thought it was pure.
It's twin.
Oh, you have pure on the thing.
I'm super liar. It's twin.
I'll update it. You show your thing.
Okay. Because if it was like pure, that same yardage would be like... Because
it would be almost 1,200 yards, yeah.
Yeah, so pure...
It's 570 something?
It's 383 yards per 100 grams.
And it's 150 grams.
Grams per skein. Thanks, Claudia, for trying to make me do math.
I think it's around 570 something yards.
That's pure too. Hold on. That's pure too. Darn it! Alright. I have twin around here somewhere.
Twin is 510 per...
Yeah, there we go. Here's twin. So, twin is... I probably have the original tag. Twin is, this is gorgeous. This needs to be knit soon. This is Unglücksrabe, and it is...
I just pictured all of our German viewers going...
Unglücksrabe. 510 yards per 150 grams. See, this one actually has... This was one before she redid her labels. This is the old label, which is awesome. This is the new label that makes you do math. Okay. This looks surprisingly like this other skein I have. Crap. That one's salted, though. This is like, watch Laura just roll in her Volmiza stash. So anyway, 510. I used, what did I say, 170 grams? No, more than that. 270 grams, so it's almost 900 yards. It is 100 inches across the top.
That's a lot, yo.
Yeah. And then I think the deepest point is like 25 inches deep, although in looking at it now, that lace really blocked out big time. I did block it quite a bit because I wanted that straight line of the increases and those yarn overs to really pop. So how I blocked it is I pinned the top because I was being lazy. Instead of just putting a wire through it, I pinned it. because it was like 9 o'clock at night when I got home last
Yeah,
night.
those wires are great, but they take time.
Well, I wired the bottom, and the problem is I had like so this goes on. It seems like for days because it's over 100 inches at the bottom. Because not only is it all the way across the
It's got
bottom,
that
but also
curve.
it goes back up.
Yeah.
So I have two of the really awesome Infinity
Mm-hmm.
sets. I used my heavier set, not the lace one, but the other one, and it's got two hugely long wires. I used those two wires and got everything through the bottom, barely, of the lace, pinned at the top, and then pulled to the shape that I wanted. So it is, when I stand, it goes to my knees.
And Laura is a tall lady.
I am. I'm short waisted, but I'm 6 foot tall, 5'11" and a half. We're gonna go with six.
We're gonna go with 6.
I might be shrinking though because I am getting up there. So I'm not shrinking this way though. I'll tell you that right now. Um, uh, so anyway, it goes down to my knees. I like it. It's definitely. I feel like if I wrapped it around my neck, like I normally like wrap around normally with stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. But then I feel like it's a whole nother, it's adding like 15 pounds to me that way. So actually that's not too bad. But it's like the bit, like it goes past my belly that way. So it's pretty long that way. I think I like it wrapped around.
So some of our tinier friends could wear it as a top, like.
Yes, I feel like
they could just wrap it in the back.
It's like 900 yards. That's almost the same as that sweater. No, that's 1,600 yards, but it's like half of it. It'd be like a backless sweater that you could see through. So I think it's just gonna be one that I wrap around like this. I think it'll be good, like to keep at my desk when I'm working at work because I'm in the library and sometimes I have to share that space with other people who do not have the same temperature requirements as me. Like the kids, I don't care. I freeze them out or overheat them, but when other adults are in there, they have certain expectations for what is a normal temperature.
Oh, adults ruin everything.
They do. They're so bossy too.
All right, adults ruin everything is the title this week.
Awesome. Oh, if I had a dime for every time I heard a sixth grader say that, I'd be retired.
Retired at 34. We do have a book to review.
We do.
Because
like
neither
this.
of us has any spinning.
No, I wish I had spinning. I wanted to spin in the worstest of ways, but I could not.
Yes.
So the people at Story Press sent us this. This is 101 One Skein Wonders for babies.
And it's part of their collection. They have several. They have 101 luxury One Skein Wonders and all these other items, and they're referenced in the back.
So the basic premise of this series is 101 patterns that use one skein of yarn. So the sizing on a lot of these are going to be the smallest size humanly possible.
Right.
And since they're for babies, it works. There are a lot of 0 to 3 month sizes in here. This book from Story, and they sent this to us to review before I forget to say that, retails for $18.95. It's a very, like, there's a lot of stuff in here that I want in it. And some sections are better than others.
I agree.
So the way it's divided up is there's a little ensemble section, little tops, little bottoms, little dresses, little hats, little socks and booties, little accessories.
There's sets that match, yeah.
Yeah. Little blankets, little toys, little miscellaneous, or miscellany. So, did you catch that some of these have already been published?
Yes, because I saw one that I really liked, and I was like, I think Jess knit that like 2 months ago. Yeah. So I went back and looked, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's already published. So I don't know what the percentage is of these.
Yeah, but some of them are already published, and I looked a couple days ago when we were supposed to record. Because someone had linked, let me find it, one of the cutest little tops in here. but the actual paid for pattern on Ravelry had more sizes. So because they were just doing one skeins in this book, it just had one of the sizes,
Oh.
the smallest size. So if there is something in here that you really, really like, you might want to look. I still feel like it's a good bargain. You're getting, I mean, it's
If
what,
you do
18
a
cents
baby
a pattern?
knitting, it is really, I mean, there are a ton of cute patterns. I would just say before you buy it, if you already have an extensive library, check and see if
Yeah.
you already own some of them. If you don't already have a good library of baby patterns, this is definitely worth the money.
Oh yeah, and so where I was going with this is I looked up that pattern and it wasn't linked as being in this book yet.
Oh, because the book's so
So,
new, maybe.
the book might not even be out yet. I don't know when the publication date is.
Let's see.
But on the
August
letter,
2015, so it should be out.
okay, it should be out. Um, so they're just not linked in Ravelry. So looking through the little ensembles, there's a lot of cute stuff. There's a pretty good amount for both boys and girls,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. It's pretty fairly balanced. The Cleardon baby vest and hat, I
I like that lots.
absolutely adore. I do like formatting wise. One of the things I do like is it tells you like this is pieced and knit flat. In a lot of the patterns in the description, it
Mm-hmm.
tells you how they are put together. If they're knit in the round, if they're knit flat. The thing that I do not like about the formatting is this, and this is a cute little vest. The pattern from before ends here.
Yeah,
This pattern starts here, and I understand why they did that. They're trying to squeeze 101
right.
patterns into a book that is 280 some pages
Yeah.
long. So it's
And there are some pages where you'll get the description and maybe the requirements, but you won't even see the picture until the next page. So
yeah.
you have to flip back and forth to figure out what it is.
And because space is such a premium, there's not going to be a lot of pictures of
Right.
each garment. You're lucky if I mean you get one,
For
but
sure.
if you get two, you're
Yeah.
really really lucky. I really like the Welcome Home baby set.
I do too. That was one I was going to mention.
I think that is adorable. A lot of the ensemble pieces, especially, are sock yarn because they're trying to get the most bang for your buck type situation, the most yardage because you're doing one skein garments. A lot of these are made out of sock yarn. That one, which if you're man, you have
A
obviously
bajillion.
a ton of sock yarn just hanging out. There's some really cool stuff that you could get out of one skein of sock yarn that's in here, and
I like
that
the
one is still the newborn size.
I like the trellis lace sweater and hat, and this one is sized for 6 to 12 months. It makes me think of a very classic vintage layette
Yes, oh yes, definitely.
with the very simple lace pattern and the matching bonnet.
I love the sleeveless baby tees, and this is one that I think is available as. No, it's not this one, but I love this. I
They
think
look like
these
little sausages
are the cutest things
stuffed in
ever.
there.
So cute, and so that would be a great way to keep a baby warm without being, without sleeves and stuff. It uses Knit Picks Stroll or Knit Picks Essentials, so like super inexpensive, easy, like great baby shower present. 0 to 3 months with a 16-inch chest, so it's not going to fit very long. But if you're doing baby shower knitting and you don't care how long it fits, that
You're just there for the ooh factor.
let's be honest, you're just there because someone's going to open that and go, oh my gosh, that's the prettiest thing ever.
I like
I don't
the
like. Okay, well, let me follow.
Go ahead.
1 second. So they added like little fake rosettes on a lot of the pieces for the girls. Do you see it?
Oh yeah.
Those ones that you saw, I don't like that.
I didn't even
It's a
notice
personal
that.
preference. So it's on that one. It's on like one of the. Do you see them on the booties?
Oh yeah.
Like now I've seen it twice, so it's a trend, and now it's stuck in my head. Something I just like for forever.
So in 10 years, I'll be like, hey, remember that baby book? And you'll be like, the one with the rosettes? Yes.
Sewn on. I think because I'm so used to seeing those like hot glued on things, so in my head, those are not sewn on. Those are probably hot glued on.
Yeah.
They probably are sewn on in real life.
In
like,
these items. Yeah.
yes, but like I just picture things that are hot glued.
I
Me
like
too.
the baby crown tee, and
I
this is,
love that
I
one.
think this is one that's previously published because it looks very familiar to me. It's by Janice Reed, and it's actually sized to 12 months. Um,
24 months.
yeah, oh, I'm
Goes
sorry,
up to 24
24
months.
months, yes. And it's
Yeah,
got a really cute little button detail on the sleeve.
it's adorable. And you could put like little elephant buttons there. How cute
Yeah,
would
it could give, yeah, you could give it some personality that way. There are some that I'm not as huge a fan of, like this, what is this called? The Diamond Vest. And this is one where you really don't get a very clear picture, but this is all you get. And it's got these sort of bulbous
unusual? Yeah,
button
I think
bands.
some of it might be that yarn too. Is like the
That
way
could
that
be.
yarn pulls is a little bit odd
Yeah,
in that pattern. Yeah, that's that knit one crochet two
yeah.
sandbox. It's weird. Okay, this one is definitely published
This
before.
is, yeah, this is the one that made me realize some of these were
Paula
published before.
Paula knit this for her new grandbaby.
This is the Entrechat shrug.
And I've bought that, and I know it's in this one. Okay, this one is size 3, 6, 12, 18 months. So
It's
I
a
was
cute
gonna say
little
her
shawlette.
big sizes, and it uses one skein of merino worsted. And I have a lot of like single skeins of merino worsted hanging out, and I think that would be a good use for that for a baby shower. But it'd be hand wash only because merino worsted is like a fold to merino single. So, and it felt like by looking at it.
Well, if you use the yarn that's called for, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that would be a cute, like, one skein of worsted, heavy worsted yarn.
Right.
Piece. I like the vertical lace baby cardigan, too. I think that's an interesting construction.
Yes, that was one of the ones that I thought I would definitely have to try. And it's very similar to one that I already have in my queue, and I'm wondering if it's actually the same one. But,
And there's sideways knit socks in here, too. Those two things would be really cute to pair together. And it uses a skein of sock yarn. And I know I have that. It says to fit 0 to 6 months, 16-inch chest. So just that one sizing again.
there's the No So Tayo baby jacket.
That's cute. And I have a bunch of Tayo in my stash.
I don't know that I would use Tayo because it's not going to be a super wash because it's cotton, silk, wool, nylon. But it is a very cute little hoodie, or not hoodie, but
Little sweater.
yeah, a little like jacket kind of
That
pattern.
one has an 18-inch chest circumference, so it would last a little bit longer.
Yeah, it goes up to, it says 0 to 6 months.
Little bottoms. I think these are the cutest soakers ever. This is out of Zitron Opus. It's the baby atelier pants.
Yes.
I think those are adorable. I like everything about them. I like that it's using almost a gradient striping wool. I love that it's knit on size 7 needles, so for me, like size 5, and it would go super fast. I do not like that it uses a crochet hook. Oh, it's just for that tie. I could do a crochet tie. I'm accepting of that.
I like the little wee breeches by Melissa Morgan Oakes. These are 3 to 6 months sized, and they're just very simple little pants. And they're unisex, so you could do them for boys or girls.
All right, so this is the other one that I saw that is not in my library yet, but now it is because I own this book, but I want to get it. It also comes in larger, like, Julia and Alice sizes, and that's like sleeves for babies. I'm in dresses now. And it's that little, like, dress.
Mm-hmm.
But it also comes in older kid sizes, like on Ravelry. You can buy the individual pattern for this and the larger size. So I think I'm going to get the larger size and knit that for Julia and Alice. I think that's pretty cute. It does use Madeline Tosh Merino Light. And I think we all have a spare skein of that sitting around. And it's sized from 3 to 6 months and then 6 to 12 months. So there are 2 different sizing options. I think on the actual Ravelry pattern, there's like 4 or 5.
Yeah. I like the lacy silk christening gown. This is knit out of Habu's silk, 260 yards. So it's 0 to 3 months, but it's a christening gown. So as far as I understand, babies are christened when they're newborn. So
it depends, but yeah.
So and it's very cute, very simple, but a cute, simple christening gown.
I like the green leaf hat, which is comes in three different sizes: a 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6, and then 6 to 12. It's got that little leaf topper. I think that would be good,
Mm-hmm.
especially for a spring or fall baby. In fact, that might be something I knit for House Cup real fast because I have a bunch of like for a class. It doesn't use a terrible amount of yardage or a terrible amount of time, so that might be a good one.
As I'm looking through the hat section, um, if I don't say it, one of our viewers will. A lot of these have ribbon or cording of
Yeah.
some sort, which, and I'm looking, it doesn't, there are no mentions in the pattern that I can see, but if you knit a hat for a baby, you should be extremely careful of anything long enough to wrap around their neck that would
Mm-hmm.
choke them. So I don't see it mentioned in the patterns, but it could be that I'm skimming too quickly and not, I'm just looking over it. There are a lot of super cute patterns, and the babies sell the patterns.
Oh yeah, I like the Daisy hat by Andrea Wong, and Andrea Wong's known for teaching Portuguese knitting and purling.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was really cute. I like the little ear. I love little ear flap hats on a baby, and that uses a DK weight yarn, actually that I have in the stash. There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna skim through a little quicker. They have lots of patterns for very simple baby socks and booties.
Yeah, there's the sideways ones that I was talking about earlier,
Yeah.
which are a little. I'd like to do the construction, and when you're knitting socks for a baby, these ones have heels and stuff. So, but it's a great way to learn new techniques without having to spend a lot of time doing something because you're knitting them for babies who have much smaller feet than my size 10 feet. So it's an easy way to do something quickly to try out a
Like
new
the
technique.
little ballerina slippers, which Laura mentioned earlier. They would be very cute for the newborn photography that a lot of moms do nowadays.
Oh yeah.
There's a section with accessories where there are older kids, like arm warmers, leg warmers, lacy or knit bibs, which I'm not certain how. I've never used a knit bib, so I don't know how useful they would be. But
I do like the I'm back to the blankets because the accessories didn't really do much for me, but I
right,
really like that blanket. And talking about getting bang for your buck, a lot of these are stroller sized blankets. This one is too, but it uses one skein of Miss Babs Yowza, so
hmm,
you're getting 400 and some yard. Or I'm sorry,
560.
560.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones use a lot of like Cascade Eco Plus, which is not machine washable, but
Yeah,
you're getting 460 yards to that of a bulky. So I could see why they're using it, but just because they're calling for one skein of one yarn doesn't mean that.
they're not all equal.
Yeah,
I like the four squared stroller blanket mainly for the technique that they use for creation. It is sort of it's little blocks of knit, so it's like 20 rows or something of 20 stitches, something similar to that. And they give you a schema of how it's done, but at no point in time are you knitting more than one of those little blocks.
oh,
So it's
cool.
sort of done like a log cabin, kind of,
Yeah,
just in a different shape, which was interesting. I like the colorful carriage blanket as well, which is by
yeah.
Gwen
I think
Steig.
there's some great like technique pieces in
Mm-hmm.
here for sure, especially in the toy section. Are there better books on baby hats? Yes. Are there better stuffy books? Yes. But I think you can't go wrong with the price point on this book
Mm-hmm. To
for
have
what you're
all
getting.
those, right.
Yeah, for having all these different things.
Yeah, like Laura mentioned, there's some cute little toy patterns, the blankets, the stuffies, the elephant blanket buddy by Gwen Steig. I think this is the lady who's we've reviewed her items before. With the little elephant, Lovey, and the fat kitty. Gotta love a kitty.
Yes.
Overall, again, like Laura and I mentioned, if you don't already have an extensive baby library, this would be a good one to add to it.
It's a great affordable way to
Mm-hmm.
add a lot of patterns that could be useful for any gender
Mm-hmm.
newborn aged baby.
Yeah, and it's published by Story. It retails for $18.95 in the U.S. You can get it on Amazon as well as many other places. And we want to thank Story for sending it to us. There are definitely several items in here that
there's a ton that I want to knit.
I would like to knit for babies.
That'll add to my. Hey, there's a baby. I actually only have 2 baby showers coming up this year.
Wow.
I know.
Well, it is fall, so usually they hit you in the spring.
Well, these ones are due January and March, I think. Is it too far out for March? January and February, maybe.
I don't know. Baby free, so.
There are always babies.
Baby free since 2003. Hey, that's true, actually.
Baby free since
always.
forever.
Okay, man, we have rambled.
Oh yes.
So.
All right. So we have a question from Yarning for a Smile. She has a ladybug. I have a ladybug. Leslie's familiar with the ladybug. Shocked teasers. I need to go look. Let's see. My brain just jumped. Shocked has a new wheel coming out.
Yes.
And they posted a teaser that it is going to be more of a tradition. Let me go read the teaser.
Well, let me read the question while you look for the teaser.
Question now.
So this is from Yarning for a Smile. It's a ladybug question. She says, I own a ladybug and I have the standard flyer that comes with it. How much more yarn does the jumbo hold? Is it sold only as a package with jumbo flyer with the sliding hook and bobbin? Do I really need it for everyday spinning? I'm not into art yarn, just want to spin a fingering DK and not have it in 4 small skeins. So the one thing about Shocked is that all of their wheels have interchangeable flyers. Well, all of their, like the traditional wheels have interchangeable ones, and then they have Saxony wheels, which have, I don't think those flyers are interchangeable.
So the original Shocked wheels are all interchangeable flyers. Now the Maiden's different, so you might have to purchase a different Maiden. But the Shocked Reeves, which was originally a Reeves design that Shocked purchased off of Rick Reeves, does not. That uses its own separate thing. So if you're getting a Ladybug, a Sidekick, a Matchless, or the new wheel, because officially on the spoilers it says, Shocked came out on Ravelry and said, as I'm waiting on approval to send out other details, here are some guarantees. We are not cutting any corners with the new wheel. It's a smooth spinner. It's going to be the same high quality as everything else. It's filling in existing needs. Three Sheeps came on because she was one of their testers and said it will be super fun. It uses the same flyer and bobbins, and lots of people will be able to buy it. And then Shocked came out. Let me find that post. It's probably the last one I read, actually. They came out last week or earlier this week. Oh, come on. I can't find it. And basically said it's a Saxony style wheel with a twist. So we're totally off the question.
Yes.
But I'm excited for the new Shocked wheel. I'm excited to see what it is because okay, hold on. Let me get all of Shocked's posts.
Even though you already own a Shocked Saxony style wheel.
Shut up.
The Shocked Saxony style wheel.
The Shocked Reeves. Okay, we do know that it is a Saxony style wheel with a twist and will accommodate Scotch tension, double drive, and Irish tension. So that's the last thing that they came out with. All right, back to the question. So,
short answer would be no. You don't need it for everyday spinning.
No. So Shock's bobbins, they officially say that they can fit 3.5 ounces, I believe. They can fit 4 ounces on a bobbin. You have to, because they have the hook system, you have to be moving your yarn down and up the hooks consistently using both sides of the flyer because it's filling different spaces. But you can fit 4 ounces. I fit 4 ounces many a time on a Shocked bobbin. 4 ounces is typically what most put-ups are. The only thing that you would maybe want more than 4 ounces to fit on a bobbin is if you're doing like an 8-ounce spin. But 4 ounces you can get, if you're looking to do DK weight or fingering weight, you're not going to need to divide the smaller weights into 4 small skeins, unless you're doing 16 ounces of fingering weight or DK weight.
So the exception I would say is if she's spinning 2 4-ounce bumps, if she wants to apply them together, that's not going to happen on one
No,
4-ounce bobbin.
no, you would have to then apply. You would
And
have to,
without breaking, you would
yeah, you would
have to
have to
break it.
break it at that point.
But I will say, and I say this with reservation, I do not like the jumbo flyer for Shocked. I don't think that it fits with the rest of their items in the sense that it doesn't feel as effortless and well made as the other items that they make. To me, it feels a little clumsy, and it doesn't, it's just.
You have to flip out for the matchless. Leslie has a matchless
Mhm.
and a sidekick, but you have your jumbo for the matchless,
Right, and you have to take the whole maiden head off, which
Yeah,
is
you have to
fine,
switch
right?
off the maiden.
But
and you have to do that for all of them. That's
it,
every single one.
I just don't feel like normally Shock products are way up here for me, like quality, support, all that stuff. They're great. The jumbo flyer, I feel like it was made by a different company. Like it just doesn't feel as great as the rest of their line. Um,
And if
and
you were doing something like art yarn or spinning bulky singles, I would say yes, that might be something that you need to be interested in.
well, I would put an asterisk there and say it really depends on what level of art yarn you're doing, because
Yeah.
there's like your sort of standard textural yarn with your mohair tails in there and your core spinning and all that stuff, which most orifices on your standard flyers will be fine with.
They
But if
will.
you're
The
going,
hooks get caught.
that's true. That would be something you'd have to.
The moving hook on the jumbo is a little bit better.
That you're correct there. It might catch on the hooks, but unless you're doing like the what's the lady who does the crate, Lexi Boger style with like huge, pom poms or stuffed little
Rubber duckies
things that
going
you're
through?
that
Yeah.
you're adding into the yarn. Most orifices, at least, will fit your regular art yarn. I hate to say art yarn, but textured, different hand spun yarns.
It depends on how thick and crazy you're getting with
Right.
stuff. I would say that if you wanted something that would allow you to fit more on a bobbin, a woolly winder might be a better investment.
It's still going to limit you in total ounces, but it will load it more evenly and allow you to really pack it on.
And you won't have to stop to switch hooks.
And in honesty, just breaking yarn for every 4 ounces is not a big deal.
You're talking about if you're doing fingering weight, it's like every 500 to 600 yards.
Yeah. It's not enough to buy a whole new product over, in my opinion. If that's the only reason. I
didn't think we would be, but we are.
I don't know. Some different wheels and different flyers can hold different amounts, and I love Shocked for many, many things. I do wish their bobbins were a little bit bigger, but you have to balance that with the fantastic quality of their wheels. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
And the weight of the bobbins actually affects how much, how thin you can get it. The heavier bobbins, you can't get as thin, I feel. Like.
All right, so we're going to move on.
We are very
because we are, and some things we agree on and some things we don't, and that's totally fine. But you guys aren't here to listen to us argue, so I hope not. So reading.
I'm reading nothing. I'm Leslie loaned me a really good book, and I can't remember the name of it.
Radiance by Grace Draven.
That was good. I read that in a day. I also have been listening to the third in the Wicked series by Janet Vanovich, and this one has pirates.
Woo!
Pirates and people who have extra powers. So there you go. But I'm listening to that. What else am I doing? Going crazy at work. That's about it. I've been trying to read a book at work about the secret underground stuff, which I actually marked as finished in my Goodreads, but I have like 10 pages to go. But it's a nonfiction book about like the tunnel system. Well, not just tunnels. So here's a random tidbit of information. During the gold rush, so ships would sail into San Francisco to drop off like mining supplies for the miners. Okay, you with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone would want to go find gold, so they couldn't crew them back out to sea. There would be no one to sail them back
Oh.
out. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
So
they
they
deserted the
actually
boat and
they
then
deserted the boat,
yeah.
and the boats actually kind of like decomposed and sank,
Oh.
and actually became things like hotels. Like they got sold off as scrap lumber and
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah.
And so when there were like fires and stuff, they rebuilt on top of those. So some of the subway systems and stuff in that area actually run through old boats.
That's pretty
It's like
cool.
cool. So it's like lots of little things like that. Or there's a hotel in West Virginia that actually has like this huge bomb shelter underneath it that that was like supposed to be where the president and the congressional and senate people went, but you could only take one other person with you. So during like the Cold War, they built this huge basically city that's
Mm-hmm.
underneath a hotel in West Virginia that was now they use it for like record storage and stuff and server storage, but it was used for like kept secretly for years.
Hmm.
And now and the part I'm at right now is about how in Canada, I can't remember the name of the town. There was this town that was very active during Prohibition because it's kind of near Chicago, and there were these tunnels that were built under, and when the Canadian government outlawed the immigration of people of Chinese descent to the country. So if you're coming from China, you'd get there and they'd say, "Oh, you owe us like $200 to be here." They didn't have $200, but they couldn't go back because they couldn't afford passage back. So they were living in these tunnels underneath the city. And then those tunnels became used for rum runners during Prohibition because it was like right on the railroad tracks to Chicago.
You're very
So it's
like
lots of so, do
full
what?
of historical
I am. Well, I'm
information
actually
today.
reading a nonfiction book for once. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I
So
don't like nonfiction. I'm like, I want to escape. I don't want to learn
I
things.
have to look at my Goodreads. It's called like Secret Underground. It's written for kids. It's not like it doesn't go in depth, and I feel like there might not be any. Hey, this is where we found our information from in the back bibliographies,
Yeah.
but it's actually not too bad. Now I have to. Oh, you want? Oh, hey, cat. I don't know. I'll have to find a link for it and put it into the show notes. But it's an interesting. I think it's called Secret Underground. It's interesting, to say the least. I can never remember my Goodreads password.
Oh, I've got everything stored in LastPass. I don't know any of my passwords anymore, but my computer does. So
See, but then I computers.
well, but if you have it into your
Okay,
Chrome account or whatever,
gotcha.
and then it's hooked into your phone, so you can use your Touch ID to unlock your LastPass.
Touch ID.
Well, but you will.
We had this whole thing about how I don't have a good phone right now. I have a workable phone.
It's just not a fancy new one.
It's not. It's a fancy 3-year-old one.
So I've been reading that same book by Mercedes Lackey, The Bright
How's
Light
that
Burning.
going?
I haven't spent much time because I don't have an old lady thing that holds open your books. I only have a tablet holder. And I can't read and knit at the same time if I have to hold a book, and we've got priorities. So
Yeah.
I've read tons of fluff this week, which I won't really talk about, but I've linked it if you care, it's linked in the show notes. There's like 5 or 6 books that I've read in this past week. A couple of which Laura recommended, so if you find them offensive, blame Laura.
Always blame me for everything.
What else do we want to talk about?
We have the Halloween craft all the things coming up. So,
Yes.
someone had a question about the rules for that, which is a very good question. So here were the official rules from last year in the FO thread. It was one post per FO. If it was like a group of things, like you baked pumpkin seeds, it was one post per, hey, I baked pumpkin seeds, not one post per,
Pumpkin
here's a
seed.
pumpkin seed. Here's
One
a pumpkin.
post per project.
Yeah, there you go. We'll open a chatter thread. Last year we had a fall chatter thread. It's a craft along. Any craft is welcome. Just sell it as relating to Halloween or fall. You're good to go. The project must have started after 9/1
So
2015.
today or forward.
Yeah. Um, you have to explain how the project is Halloween related, and you only post once per FO.
Extra points for being funny.
Yes, always. Um, so it's any kind of crafting, including non-raft crafts, including baking.
Yeah,
You
paper
sell it.
crafts, whatever.
You sell it as being FO or fall, as being Halloween or fall related, and we count it. If you can't sell it, then it doesn't count. And that's about it. Like, that is the only rule. The last day of it is going to be, we're going to close it October 31st. I'll be out of town. I can close it from my phone. It's not a bit, it's like very, very laid back. You can double dip, you can triple dip, you can
It's
do
really
it.
just an excuse for you to post things that are pretty and have people say, "Oh, that's pretty."
Yeah, and it relates to Halloween.
Yeah.
Look at how you did that. So, you're so funny. So, that we are gonna draw prizes for Stash Dash. I just have not had time to sit. Ravelry is blocked for me at work. Not that I've had time at work to do anything, but including answer emails. Sorry, folks. So, like, we'll get to it and we'll draw. So I'm hoping this coming weekend I have a long weekend. I have Monday off, so hopefully that will encourage me to get on the computer. I went to a Renaissance festival this weekend. It was fun. It was Memphis's first, the Mid-South first annual Renaissance festival. I was hoping there'd be pumpkin chunking. There was not.
Pumpkin chunkin.
But there was jousting, and the dude dressed up like a Mad Hatter, and Navajo churro sheep, which I feel like are not traditionally medieval. And a woman selling Navajo churro fleece, which was interesting because it was still like Navajo churro is a double coated breed.
Mm.
So I didn't even.
Yeah, I'm like, back away slowly. I don't even want to look.
And there were people selling wooden swords and cool crowns that were like $200, and ales of grails of ale, and cups of ale, and cups of honey mead, and lots of fun things. I got to meet a new spinner. I need to email her. She has a Ashford Traditional and an Ashford Traveler. She was very cool. She was in the what's that group of people who do crafts like that? The anarchists, the anarchist craft whatever guilds thing. Now I can't remember what the name of that is. But yeah, it was fun. The juggler was awesome. He stood on a ball and threw flaming stuff in the air.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, it was good. And I hung out with work friends, which was lots of fun. And I haven't been to Shelby Farms, I don't think, ever. And they have buffalo there. Did you know they have buffalo?
Yes. I've been there before. Actually, that's the only place I've ever ridden a horse was at Shelby Farms.
Really?
They don't have them anymore because they didn't treat them very well, but
Oh.
yeah, it was pretty terrifying. Not something I plan to repeat.
They do bicycle rentals there now. So
oh, that's a cool idea.
Rent a bicycle, or Kobe can come with us and we can go rent bicycles and go ride around.
Yeah.
Mississippi's pretty much flat. We have the end of the Three Waters Farm.
Yes.
It ends tonight.
Well, no, it ended last night.
Oh, it did. Today's the 1st. Oh my goodness.
So we should lock that thread.
Yeah, we should lock that thread. I'll do that right now.
So we did have Three Waters Farm who designed our colorway Honky Tonk, and we had a contest for those who have spun and or knit.
You did yarn and fiber.
Yes. And there's a thread with over 50 items in there of people who finished them. So what we'll do is we'll go through and pull winners. We have 2 different prizes to give away. One of them is a free 3-month membership to their Top of the Month club. So we'll give that one to a spinner. And then all the others we'll put into a pot for a cool prize of design your own colorway. So you'll work directly with Mary Ann and you'll design your own colorway of either yarn or fiber and get a skein or a bump of it. Which is pretty cool. So, again, we just want to say thank you for you guys participating in our spin along and knit along. It's been really cool to see the different stuff people have made with one color and see how it can be interpreted in different ways. So anyway, What else? Stash Dash, we've already talked about. You have an upcoming events with, and then there's
Yeah.
a
Oh, so upcoming events. I will be at SAF. Leslie will be at Rhinebeck. Is there anything else upcoming that we'll be at?
not knitting related, no.
Okay, so we'll be at those two things. I like doing upcoming events every time so people know where we are. Um, then we have a giveaway for this gorgeous skein of yarn, which I want to keep so badly, but I am letting go. It is the Lucid Dream sock yarn in the silver lining colorway. It is by julianasfiber.com. She is a Canadian-based dyer and has just got lovely, lovely stuff, as y'all could see when you went and looked at her stuff in order to be entered. We have 349 posts,
Wow.
so it's 2 through 349.
It's been a while since we've done one of these.
I know. I have something else to give away too.
All right,
Not this week, next week.
349. All right, so I have not pushed the button, but I will push the button. Oh, I didn't. It didn't do anything. There we go. 292, which I think will be on the 12th page.
$292 is Huntress 999.
Mm.
She really likes silver lining, but she thinks that the Zenter color on Lucid Dream Sock is calling her name. So Huntress 999, if you will get in touch with me, Lala, you can either, that's Andrea from New York, New York. You can either email me at laura@TheKnitGirlls.com, or you can PM me, Lala, on Ravelry, and send me your name and shipping address. I will get that out to you. So that will happen. So just let me know, and I will send that as soon as you do. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And now we have SSK updates. So if you're not interested in SSK,
And silly you, but
then you can pass. But we did open
the lottery signups.
The lottery signups. Thank you, Leslie. I cannot.
So there are two different options. So SSK is the annual knitting retreat that Laura and I host in Nashville, Tennessee. You can read about it at supersummerknittogether.com. It is July the 20th through the 24th of 2016. It'll be our 5th annual retreat.
I know, that's so many.
So we have two options. There's a day pass option and an on-site option. Both options are identical except for lodging. So if you want to stay on-site, then you would request the on-site. If you're local or you would rather have a comfortable, like, lush hotel, then you would request a day pass spot. You only request one. You can't put in for both. You can only put in for one. So the day pass spot is $350. The on-site spot is $575. There's been no change in the price since last year or the year before, I think. That gives you, aside from lodging, I'll just say the things that are the same. You get breakfast and lunch for that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You get breakfast on that Sunday if you're still there.
You get snacks
every day. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You get entrance into any of the stuff we do, the try-it-on room, the tasting room, the vendor market. You get
breakout sessions.
Yeah, breakout sessions, door prize tickets for things that we do for door prizes.
A goodie bag.
A goodie bag, which is a retail value of around $50. You get one free class with a top name teacher with options to add more at your own cost if you want.
Yep. And you get to hang out with lots of cool people.
Yeah, you get to make some awesome, cool new friends. So we opened those. It is not first come, first serve because that would be brutal. We're doing a lottery entry system. So the lottery entries are open until 9/11, which is a sad day, but that's the way it hit on the calendar. There's no intent there. And then there's like 3 or 4 days before we send out notifications because it just depends on when Laura and I have the time to sit down, aggregate everything into a document, alphabetize everything, go random number generator. It takes a long time to do it. So
Yep.
That's why there's 3 or 4 days between when the entries end and before we send notifications out. So, and you will be notified regardless of whether or not your lottery entry is picked, because anybody whose lottery entry isn't picked is automatically put on the wait list unless you request otherwise.
Yep.
So that's done. Vendor applications are closed. We'll talk about vendors next week or the week after, depending on when we do selections and get contracts. But we do have some information we can talk about this week.
Yes. So we can, 3 of our 4 teachers have sent back contracts, so we can talk about those 3 people.
So every year we have.
Go first,
yes.
Or
yeah, I'll go first. Every year we have 4 teachers for 4 primary sort of.
Sometimes
items.
We have more.
Yeah.
But we've always had at least 4.
So we usually have at least one really strong knitting teacher, one spinning teacher. Sometimes we do other stuff. We've done photography, we've done dyeing, we've done color work, we've done all sorts of stuff. So every teacher this year sort of has a theme attached of what they do the most.
What they're well known for.
Right.
There you
go. So I just totally drew a blank on who our teachers were.
Thea Coleman.
Yes, Thea Coleman is one of our teachers for next year. She is Baby Cocktails, and she's known for all of her lovely sweater designs. And,
she also does accessory designs.
Yes, and they're usually named after an alcoholic beverage of some sort. And they're all really well done, sized fantastically, and we are super stoked to get her to come down and teach for us. We have never had her before. So
these are all new people for us.
They are, yeah.
Not anyone before, so that's fine. Second, for spinning, we have Maggie Casey's coming.
Yes.
So Maggie Casey, who is absolutely the nicest person ever. We went to, part of the reson why we went to Estes is we were going
so we could vet Maggie Casey.
We try to get Maggie Casey to come. By begging on our hands and knees. No, so she is so sweet. She owns a yarn shop, actually, and we went to the yarn shop,
Boulder,
and like, we're just hanging out, and she was like, "Oh, do you want to go to Tour Shocks? Because I could probably hook that up for you." Like, she's amazing. She does a lot of video support for Interweave.
Right.
She's been spinning for she knows her stuff.
She does.
And she's extremely approachable about everything.
Yes, so you have some people who are really smart and difficult. They're sort of the Sheldon, like, of their particular topic, and you have to understand their language. Whereas Maggie is going to come and she's going to sit with you and she's going to tell you a funny story, and then she's going to teach you, and you're not even going to realize that you've been taught.
She's amazing.
She is lovely and very, very good at spinning and teaching. She doesn't travel to teach a ton. She still does the big events like Rhinebeck in Maryland, but she only does a certain number per year, so we really wanted to get her into the spot while we could.
Yep.
So Maggie Casey is also coming.
And then last but not least, we have Rami Hill coming.
Yes.
So Rami Hill does absolutely amazing lace stuff, like the most gorgeous stuff that you will ever see. And she has a brand new book that just came out this month, I think September or August, from Interweave, that, like, her designs just make me drool.
They're beautiful. And she does the 7 Small Shawls collection.
Yes.
I don't know if it's every year, but
the new one's asymmetrical. That's
yes.
got gorgeous stuff to it.
So Rami has some absolutely beautiful patterns, and we've heard wonderful things about her. As far as student-wise, we haven't taken a class from Rami, but she is also one of our fantastic people that we're looking forward to hosting as teachers. We have one more who we're just waiting on the contract to get to us.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that teacher next week. But and it's fun because as we go, we make lists of people who, we're already sort of hammering out ideas for 2017. There's one teacher who we've been trying to get, and it's like we have to think that far ahead to get some of these people.
Some people you have to think like 2 to 3 years ahead.
And there are some people that we'd love to have, but they just don't travel in the summer or what have you. So
yes, like Lucy Neatby doesn't travel during the month of July.
Right.
So we've asked. We love her. We
Yes.
took classes from her many moons ago. So, and for some people, the accommodations of SSK are not a good fit.
Right,
So,
because SSK is very, so if you haven't been and you're considering putting your name in, SSK is held at the Scarrett Bennett Center. You can look them up at scarrettbennett.org. It used to be a dormitory, so the rooms are very basic. You have a bed, you have a nightstand and a
dresser.
table and a light, and then most rooms are, they call them doubles. It's a single bed, and it's got a connected bathroom, and it's
So it's
connected
got a
to
Jack
one
and
other
Jill
room. Right,
style
like a
bathroom,
sibling
and you
style
can
setup.
lock you can lock the door from either side.
Right. So it's semi-private in that you're not sharing a bed, your bed with the room, your room with the bed
Yeah.
with another person, but the bathroom is shared between two people.
The air conditioner is also shared between two people.
Yeah, the way that it's set up. It's a very old building,
Yep.
but we really don't
Love
have
it.
any
Yeah.
issues. It's hard to find group accommodations where it's not sterile like a hotel where you're sharing it with a whole bunch of other people. We really get the run of the campus when we're there, which is great.
Yep.
So, because you can't go 10 feet without running into another knitter. So,
That's true. And it's a gorgeous campus.
it
Absolutely
is.
stunning.
So that's
They're
all of our
very close to
information
us.
about SSK. We're stoked about our teachers.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yes,
I want to
and
take all the
I
classes.
know there's at least a couple that I would really like to squeeze into, and I'll try, but we'll just see what
And
happens.
we'll announce the actual specific
Hmm.
classes coming up.
Yeah, so you'll just know that Romy, it's going to be sort of lace related. Maggie is of course going to be spinning, and then Thea is going to have to do at least one of her classes is going to be sweater related and how to make that work. So we'll get into the more specific information later. What else? Is that it?
I think that's it.
We've only been talking for an hour and a half. Are you sure that's
Oh,
it?
I don't want to order pizza for dinner, so it has to be it because I'm kind of hungry.
Okay. Well, you guys have a lovely week, and we'll talk to you again next week on Labor Day.
Oh my. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.